Hi, all my Read 180 and 1802 people. This is Friday, and next week is the week of September 28th through October 2nd. And as you can see, I am in one of the Read 180 classes right here, and it says week of September 28th through October 2nd. And just to reiterate, which means to say over and over again, here's where I want to put today's video right here. Start here video for virtual learners. Now, this week, we're actually changing gears a little bit. So we spent 3 weeks doing readings. Reading 1 was prepared for smallpox. Reading 2 was a killer without a cure about Ebola. And then this week we were reading the Black Death, which was over the bubonic plague. Next week, we actually are going to move into the section where we are going to review our vocabulary words. That's called a word challenge. And we will begin preparing to do our own writing about the things that we have been reading about. So we will have a couple of slightly different types of activities that everybody will be doing. And then the other thing I want to really focus on this week is catching up. If you do not have everything completed, we need to get that done, because I need all work in that you want for the grade to count for your progress report in by next week. And when I say next week, I'm actually meaning like Wednesday to Thursday, so we have time to grade it. Progress reports will go out October the 7th, which is not next week, but the week after. Keep that in mind, not just for my class, but for any other classes. But let's get started. So the first thing we do is typically a motivational writing, and you will do another motivational writing. This week it is not in No Red Ink. It will be back in your binder. Keep in mind, to get to your binder, you click and go to your Google page. You go to your waffle. You go to slides. And then any slides you've ever made, people have shared with you, anything will pop up. Okay? And so what we are working on, I don't see the one I was just working in. I don't want template. Hold on. I will find it. It's the one I want right there, because it's one that I put my name on, just like yours. So then we let that open. Yes, that is me. And so we're in our binder. Remember, our binder is divided into sections. You look over here, bell ringers, motivational writing, questions and vocab, grammar, review, assessment. Okay, so we are going to the motivational writing. I'm just going to scroll this way, and I can go down, give it a chance to catch up with it a little bit. And there's motivational writing. Big letters for you to find it. Now, technically, we have already completed this one. No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. And you were to follow the directions and answer here. Then we've completed this one. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And you should have, after it, a slide where you have written to that. So the one we're on this week, we have multiples of these in here. I'm going to actually go get rid of this one. Whichever one you can get rid of. So I'm just going to clear out so we have one. This week we're writing to Be the Change You Wish to See in the World by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so notice instead of 30 words, we're up to 50 words this week. Answer 1, A, B, C, or D, or more. So if you answer A and that doesn't give enough words you think, then pick another one you'd like to answer to. Answer 1 or more of the questions below. Responses must be no less than 50 words. A says explain the meaning of the quote in your own words. B says, what would you like to see changed in the world and why? C, do you believe in the quote, why or why not? And D, do you like this quote, why or why not? Pick one to answer. If you think you need to write more because you ran out of words and you haven't hit your quota, then pick a different one and add to it, because you can answer more than one. So that is your motivational writing that you will do. After we do our motivational writer, we're actually going to be, usually we go to bell ringers, okay? But this week, I'm probably going to change the order, because what we really need to do first is actually go here. So that'll be in a different order. This will be 3 and that'll be 4. So questions, word challenge, pages 46 and 47. You're to turn to page 46 and 47, either in your workbook or the scan workbook below, and answer the questions in the Google slide below. There's Google slide. There is the workbook. Okay, I always add the glossary often in case you needed to look up a word. Okay, then after you fill this out, you are actually going to copy it, highlight everything, hit Control-C, copy, and you will actually simply, you will go and add it to your digital binder. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay. If you need to, you can make more slides here. We will show you that in just a second as well. So first thing to do, let's open where we're going to do our writing. Okay. And so when you're ready to start, you will just, number 1, and start on it. Notice that put that in the middle. You can go change all of these, right? You can put it over to the right. There you go. So as you answer, go through. If you need to make an additional slide, maybe you can only get 3 of them answered here. You just simply go put new slide, and you're ready to continue answering, okay? And then again, once you've done this, okay, you will, and you have to wait. You see, I mean, I understand this can be a little frustrating, but you got to get this. So I get it. I can copy there. I can come. Okay. Oh, get out of that. I did this earlier with all of them. Here we go. There we go. Come down. I guess because I don't have any words here. Let's just put some words. All right. So you will copy. I'm just not grabbing things very well. I apologize. There we go. Well, it doesn't want to get my number 1. But you'll hit Control-C, copy. You'll go back to your binder. Okay. You're going to go to answer that one. It's going to be questions and vocab. You see right here, it says using your workbook, answer questions 1 for 10 on a Google slide and copy it on a new slide behind this one. We'll create a new slide. Click in, Control-V, and paste your answers that you will put in. And that's how you will make that. Okay? All right. Now let's go back to our assignment. All right. Now let me show you what your assignment looks like. So this is the word challenge. And word challenge is actually, back up a few pages here. Let me get to it. There we are. The one before that. Word challenge. Okay. So we're on the word challenge, which is found on page 46 and 47. And you just follow the numbers. Number 1, start here. And you'll think about, right, which of these is contagious. Number 2, synonyms, right? So if you look at that, we have got synonyms are words that have similar meanings. Examples are lucky and fortunate, or boring and dull. Match each word with its synonym. So we have in the box internal, major, resistance. So which of these internal, major, resistance would big and important go with? Which one, internal, major, or resistance, would go with inside or inner? And again, internal, major, resistance, which goes with opposition or challenge. Then you'll move to number 3. And each one of these you're going to answer. So number 1, answer on your slide. Number 2, you'll have 3 answers on your slide. Number 3, tell about yourself. Complete the sentence. Someone who has had a big impact on my life is blank because blank. And you will fill those in. Moving to number 4, think about it. Estimate some answers to these questions. So 4 has like an A, a B, a C, and a D, because it would say, how many episodes of reality TV shows will you watch this month? How much money will you spend on video games this year? How many times a day do you laugh about something? How many students go to your school? Then you will move to the next page. Continuing with number 5. Again, each of these are to be answered in the slide that we created. Okay? So 5, rate them. Order these careers from 1 to 4 based on how courageous a person has to be to do the job. 1 is the most courageous, 4 is the least. So firefighter, police officer, doctor, and drug counselor. Then we go down to 6, evaluate. Which of these could you do? Write F if it's feasible for you, or NF if it's not feasible. You need to remember what feasible means. It's one of your vocabulary words. Completing a marathon. Learn to play an instrument. Win the lottery. Stay awake for 48 hours. Once you finish 6, following the dot, we're up to 7. 7's talking about antonyms. Antonyms are words that have the opposite meanings. Examples are ancient and modern, or tiny and enormous. Match each word to its antonym. So we have console, internal, victory. Okay, and so what is the opposite? Okay, to disturb, defeat, external. Okay, console, internal, victory. Okay, and again, you should know these words. These are on your vocabulary slide. Complete it. Number 8, use the words epidemic and contagious to complete the sentence. Our school was hit by a flu blank that was so blank that half the students stayed home sick. Move to 9. Circle 1 in each row. Would you rather be exposed to, chicken pox or smallpox? Hot weather or cool weather? Bad food or bad music? Now, obviously we can't circle, but you can choose the one and type it into your slide. And then for number 10, be sure you've numbered each of your questions so we can find them. Check them. Which of these will not help you if you are trying to avoid being infected by a cold? Drinking lots of fluids, staying up all night, sleeping with your shoes on, taking vitamins. So type into your slide which one of these will not help. Remember, this is in all caps, N-O-T, not help you if you're trying to avoid catching a cold. When you've done that, you will have finished this assignment. Okay, so I'm going to go back now to our Google Classroom. I went through it just like you would. Here's our week. So that was this one, okay? Once we've done that, you want to do your bell ringers, okay? And so after watching the Google Meet or doing this with me, you will open your Workshop 2 Killer Plates notebook, go down to the section labeled bell ringers, find the slide assigned for this week, September 28th. Okay, you may need to create your own slide, answer the 5 review questions. So I am in mine. I'm going back up to the beginning. Go to the section that says bell ringers. And then I want to find the week. You see, says everything says week of. So week of 9/28. There's 9/7. There's another 9/7. There's 9/14. There's 9/21. You see where I'm getting these from, right? So now I'm looking for 9/28, and you will answer these. Number 1, what is a synonym and what is an antonym? 2, what is a sentence fragment? 3, on page 53, the workbook mentions 2 words that always begin with a capital letter. What are those 2? Oh, get that shortly. 4, most sentence fragments are missing one or two things. What are those two things? They often leave out. These will be found in the next assignment that we're about to do. And 5, after all of our readings, what should we do at the start of an epidemic? Okay, there we go. All right, so that takes us to here. Pages 52 and 53 in our workbook, okay? So what we're going to do here is you're going to go into Google Slides. Again, you're in your digital binder. You're going to the section to the top. There's a section called Grammar. Grammar. I'm going this way down. Grammar, right there, matching. We're going to the next slide, and here's where you're going to put your answers to go with this week's work that we're doing here. So we're going to turn either in our workbook, if you have your workbook, or here through the scanned documents to page 52 and 53, where we're going to work on grammar and mechanics. I'm going there. Let it open. And it usually leaves off wherever you were at last. So, you can see that we're on page 47. We need to get to page 52 and 53. So we will just simply go down. A little bit further. There we go. Let's get it all on the page. There's page 52. Grammar. Matching. Slides. Grammar. All right. And if you would like to have this read to you, you can do so. If you haven't already, you have to first go up and there's up here, Text Help, PDF Reader. If you don't have it there, you click on this black and it will be listed down here where you can add it. But you'll see it says Text Help PDF Reader. Okay. And then to hear it read, you just click this.
Conventions narrative paragraph. Grammar correcting sentence fragments. A sentence fragment is an incomplete sentence. Often, sentence fragments are missing a subject or a verb. To fix some fragments, add a subject or verb to make a complete sentence.
And you stop here this way so that you can go through, and it'll read through each section, and you can have it. Now, you notice I have this kind of small, so you're seeing the whole page. Keep in mind that you can put it, bigger so that you can see, all right? And go from there. As far as with reading, it should work the same way. I just made it because I like seeing the whole page there together, okay? But this is one of the tools you have that you can use if you would like, as far as having the to read to you. Okay, I'm going to slide back out of this because that's where you're going to answer those questions. One section is on correcting sentence fragments. And basically with sentence fragments, you're either adding in, it's missing the verb, the what's being done, or it's missing the subject, who's doing it. And that's where you're going to fix. You have one section where you will write whether it is a fragment, whether it is missing a subject or a verb. So you'll either write verb or you will write subject. And then down below, you will fix sentences. Rewrite each sentence and fragment as one complete sentence. So you're joining a sentence and a fragment together. Okay. On the second page, mechanics, using capital letters, is going to focus on the first word in a sentence always begins with a capital letter, and a proper noun, like somebody's name, should always start with a capital letter. Also, Ms. Stone would want me to continue to remind you that if you're going to use the letter I as the word I, it also is capitalized when we are doing our writing.
Always capitalized.
So, always capitalized. So, but that again, page 52 and 53 is what we're working on. And then you will have a little student model also on page 53 that you can see. I guess I will show you that real quick. Let me go back to it. To the next page. So that's 52. 53. This is the capital letters. Here's a student model, and it's going to ask you to go through and correct one sentence fragment. Forget how to do that. Just go right back up here and look back over what you just did here, right? Fix one sentence fragment. You're going to underline, and you're going to find two, actually not underlining, but you're going to find two capitalization errors and correct them, and you will type these again, right, in your, here, 5 errors. One, there's 2 capitalization, 1 sentence fragment, right, and the last thing it asks you for is 2 spelling errors that you're going to correct. And you will also put those here. One of the numbers, spelling it correctly, the missing words. So that's the mechanics, and that's the grammar. And both of those are accessed here, answered in Read 180 Workshop Killer 2 Plagues Binder under the grammar section. After you do that, which really those are 2 things would not take as long as it has been taking to read through our articles 3 times. The goal with this week is to get caught up, as I mentioned, okay? That you need to get caught up with all of your work because we're about to have progress reports go out and you do not need zeros. So number 6, so that was 5 we just did. Number 6, use this week to catch up on all previous assignments. So you're going to go to the Google Slides and open your digital binder unless you've still got it open. Check your bell ringer slides. You should have 2 slides for questions 9-7, 1 slide for 9-14, 1 slide for 9-21, and this week 9-28 has 1 slide. So you should have 5 slides answered. I'm going to show you. Bell ringer section. Going down. There's 1 slide for 9-7, right there. So you need to answer those 5 questions. There's a slide to do it. There's the next 5 for 9-7, and you should answer. Here's 1 slide for 9-14. You need to answer those 5 if you haven't done so. Here's 9-21. Here's 5 slides to answer. And if you need to, remember, go hit slide, new slide, and put a place if you need room to answer these, okay? I will also look here to see if I find them. And then this is this week's 9-28, right there that I read earlier, okay? So that was the first thing it says. Number 2, check your motivational writing section slides. You should have 3 slides for 3 quotes. Well, let's go down. This is a motivational. Whoop, I went too far. There we go. Motivational writing. So again, you should have something written after this one, after this one, and after this one. And if you need to, you add a slide and you follow the directions. Next thing to check, this is our checklist. Check your questions and vocab section. You should have 1 slide with all 10 vocabulary words, definitions, and sentences. You can copy the one you did as your homework assignment in week of August 31. We did this quite a few weeks ago. You have 1 slide of questions for 9-7, prepared for smallpox and vocab. You have 1 slide for 9-14, over a killer without a cure and its vocab. You have 1 slide over 9-21, over the Black Death and its vocabulary, and 1 slide copied from this week's word challenge that you were just making. That makes 5 slides. So get down to where I see questions and vocab. There's with the 10 words, with the definitions and the sentences that had blanks to be filled in. There's the questions from 9-7 over prepared for smallpox. And that's where you should answer. There's the questions over 9-14 over a killer without a cure. There's 9 questions to answer. There's questions over the Black Death, week of 9-21. There are 14 questions to answer. And those questions are all the questions that we answered out loud when we did our reading in class. You can go back and listen to them at any time. Then this is where you were supposed to add this week's word challenge. It goes right after here, and you will answer 1 through 10 there. Last thing to check then, number 4, check your grammar section for the slide you did this week. that is due. When you do that, you'll have your entire binder ready, easy then 100s that we can put into Infinite Campus. If you have anything else that you are missing at that point, it should help catch up, because the vocab slide, for instance, since it was a homework, it counted as a separate grade. So we've got different grades in Infinite Campus that go along with some of these activities as well, and that would help bring up your grades. All right, guys, that's a lot this week because I'm not really probably doing a read it out loud. You can use the read aloud tools, and it is not a section, so we're not reading. So you do not have to record yourself this week. But those of you who are virtual, if you haven't recorded yourself reading the 3 readings, you need to go back and do that as well. You'll find that in each of the weeks as an assignment homework for virtual learners. Okay, guys, have a great week. Again, you need us. Comment in the assignments here. Drop us an email. Use Remind. Drop us a text, whatever is most convenient to you, but get your questions to us and we'll gladly answer. We will be online at 1 o'clock every Friday. We'll do a Google Meet. You can join us there. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing some of you soon and talking to you. Let's turn this now off.